So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to create consistency with a schedule. Now, a lot of pages are always talking about productivity and how to get things done and how to push yourself, but I feel like one pillar that is always missing is consistency. Something that is not about perfection, but it's about showing up. And I have my iPad here today because I don't want to miss any points. Consistency is not about perfection, it's about showing up. And I feel like this is not talked about enough because it's a topic that may seem boring, but consistency is what gets you to your goals because you're doing a practice all the time towards that goal. So let's jump into our point number one, which is what is planned gets done. Now, when you write something out or when you put it on an iPad or on your phone, you are making it real. You are making it part of your reality. You are seeing it physically on paper, and it's more likely that you're going to get it done this way. When it just lives in your head, it kind of gets lost in all those thoughts that you have, and then you don't end up doing it, or you end up forgetting to do it, which is something that we don't want to do. And we want to eliminate that habit so we can actually get things done. A schedule will create a routine for you. So, meaning now that you have created a schedule for a week, like I personally do, you are going to set time blocks and you're going to write the activity for that time block next to it. You can easily do this on Excel. That's something that I use. And you create a time to do that task. So now that you see it's 9 a.m. and you have to go to the gym, you're going to look at that schedule as reference, as accountability to go to the gym at 9 a.m. And now that you see it, and if you skip it, it's going to hold you accountable because you planned this and you are going to start feeling guilty that you didn't show up for yourself. And you're going to begin to feel like you're not doing your part. So that's what a schedule is really good for. After doing it for a month or two, using a schedule, and you begin to show up for your tasks, your goals, whether it be the gym, content creation, baking, it will become normal for you to show up for these things. And it will become part of your routine. It will start to feel very easy because you're being consistent doing that activity. Consistency will build up. It will compound because of this new thing that you're doing, which is called a schedule. You will have more practice, more reps in. And like I said, consistency is about showing up. It's about doing that action every day or 5 times a day, 6 times a day, whatever is doable for you and is productive for your goals. And it will compound over time and bring you closer to your goal. Now, I want to jump into the next point, which is really super important. And it's about how a schedule will allow you to not overthink anymore. Basically, your tasks are not in your mind anymore. They are going to be on paper. They are going to be on an iPad. They are going to become reality. They're not going to be a thought in your head anymore. It's going to be something that you are going to take out of your head and put it on paper so then you can look at it and remind yourself that you have to do it. Because sometimes when we go through life and we have things in our mind, we tend to forget or we tend to procrastinate because since it's just a thought, right? Why would I do it? Or why should I pressure myself to do it? And when you put it on a schedule, you're going to add pressure to yourself and actually get that task done because you are going to be clear with your tasks and goals, which is completely different than having it in your mind. When you have something in your mind, it's like you have a million conversations along with the conversation you had with your mom, with your brother, with your kids, with your husband. You have all these thoughts in your mind. And when you put things like your goals and your tasks on a schedule, you're going to take it out of your head and put it on paper and be able to cultivate it in a clear way. So you're going to be able to plan specific actions and tasks to do for your day with specific times. This way, they're actually going to get done, and you're also going to be doing work that is meaningful, that is going towards your goal. So I want to go into our last point because it's very important to understand how a schedule detaches emotion from action. You are going to get things done based on what you planned and not how you feel. That's what a schedule does. It erases the emotion from what you have to do. Since you're writing it out, since you're taking time to plan it out and put all your thoughts on paper for the tasks you have to do, you are detaching that feeling from that task. So now, if you wake up tired, if you wake up like you don't feel like doing it, or like today I don't feel creative, so I'm not going to create any content or something like that, the schedule is going to take that feeling out of it and make it a non-negotiable for you to show up. And that's what we need if we are trying to make progress in what we're doing, because 90% of the time you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to do it, especially if you are someone who's always busy, someone who's always working, someone who's always active. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel like you don't want to do things. But using a schedule to keep you consistent and detaching that emotion from that action that you have to do is going to catapult you to the next level. And that's something that I feel like is on the top of my list of value for a schedule. When you show up more often, you're going to get more reps in. You're going to be able to see what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right. That's what's going to allow you to progress. Because just living in your mind is not going to allow you to make mistakes, to do good things, and to tweak things in your process to then make it something better, right? Being able to use a schedule to detach that emotion and show up for that task every day is something huge, monumental. It's going to be something in your arsenal that you will use forever. Now, I want to give you some small advice on how you can start using a schedule today. I want you to sit down with yourself, whether you're a mother, a content creator, someone who's creating a baking business. I want you to sit down, go on Excel, write out your tasks on Excel according to the energy levels that you have. So if you feel like you have high energy, high creativity in the morning, schedule all those things for the morning and everything else towards the rest of the day. Give them a reasonable time block next to it to give yourself a time to do each task. So an hour or an hour and a half for work, 35 minutes for fitness, and so forth. And this way, you're going to be able to follow a structure with a time limit for that following week and see how that goes. And then the following week, revise it if you need more time, if you feel like you don't have enough time for a certain task. Creating a schedule for consistency is very important. But also, if you're interested in learning how to be consistent with a sense of urgency, you can click on my next video where we will go more in depth on this topic. I will see you there.